A massive macro closure has been printed with an enormous bullish signal that can propel price action to the upside. The particular dollar value closing upside of the $5 target on those macro closures can also serve as a psychological beat. Welcome back to the channel on this Thursday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. Let's kill them, team. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's go ahead and dive in straight to that ticker symbol FNGR for finger motion. Man, oh man, am I excited to share with you this right over here. So go ahead and look at this massive pullback, right? Let's go ahead and just get these drawings out of the way and just look at the raw price action itself, right? So yeah, take a look at this huge pullback here, starting to print that one little tiny hammer candle here, followed by another green candle, followed by another green candle that led to a bi-monthly three white soldiers formation. Oh my goodness, man. That is absolutely something right here, team. All right, so let's go ahead and just pull up the portrait screen here and show you something, okay? So this is the three white soldiers on a pullback, and this is how you can identify, right? Just like this here, you can identify that three white soldiers right there after that pullback and then the continuation to the upside, right? So I don't know if you can notice here that it did have a top side here where the wick essentially, let me see if I can get this to zoom in a little more, right? I don't have my tools to draw on that, but it's all good, right? So yeah, this wick right up here, right? That wick ended up getting do I have that thing to make my mouse bigger? I guess I don't. Yeah, that wick actually went beyond the opening of the following candle, and the following candle actually came down just a bit lower, even below the close of that third candle itself, right? So what I'm saying here is that there is always the possibility of getting some type of a pullback after this candle here, right? Meaning that the next candle can have some I know it's going to start opening up my things. It's okay. It can have a continuation similar to what I'm drawing here, and the wick could also kind of come back down. The wick can come back down to I don't know, wherever it can be. It can be to the top side of this. It can be to some other relevant area of support, historically speaking, and then we can go to the upside. Remember that this is variable here within a bi-monthly time frame. So we're really talking about like 64, 65 days here on total in total, right? So yeah. So great thing is too is that on the bi-monthly time frame we have closed upside of the EMA 21, converting that into a massive support. Not to mention that you do have that SMA 10 on that bi-monthly time frame as well. Okay, so yeah, we completed this closure upside of the $5 mark, and now if we come back down to the monthly, this is yet again another very bullish signal, right? So we have the downside here, and then we came up, we came back down. I'm sorry, we opened the candle here at 569, then we came all the way back down to that 398, rallied to 616, and ended up closing at 511, marking off a bullish hammer after a downtrend, right? So very, very good stuff in line here for the FNGR asset. And I guess one of the other things that we should point out is the very, very simple fact that let me see if I can pull it up here. The very simple fact that we did close upside of the newly converted resistance into support from this broadening descending wedge. Man, this is good stuff. I absolutely love it. All right, so let me go back to the bi-weekly time frame and see how close we're getting to that silver cross. Man, we are getting so close. Okay, so I'm liking what we're seeing here. Let me also pull up, just in case, the SMA 200 versus the SMA 50. I don't even think I'm going to be able to see the 200-day just yet. Why? Because, larger time frames are what they are. Okay, so, yeah, I guess on the weekly time frame, we're converging the SMA 50 and the SMA 200, so it's looking good. The weekly time frame as well, that's going to be closed in 15 hours and 26 minutes, aka tomorrow at market close. All right, and that's going to close outside of this resistance line, so that's going to be a very good thing. Okay. Next thing we want to do is actually look at the 3-day. Let me see here. Let me get this out of the way too. I would really like to see what the heck is going on. Wait. All right. Let's see. Okay, so the buy daily, we had that golden cross there. I'm sorry, the daily, right? It looks like we got on August 11th, we got the silver cross of the SMA 50 crossing over the SMA 200, and on the 3-day, yeah, we're still converging, right? And in fact, on the 5-day, it looks a little bit closer than it does on the 3-day too. So yeah, everything is moving. Everything is moving the plan. Weekly time frame also getting close to that bullish crossover as well. So I do expect some pretty nice things coming out of FNGR, and yeah, as long as we are, this was the whole idea, is to close upside of this resistance here, because that would present a very, very good outlook for us, right? So current resistance from the bands is actually right. It's consistent to our 624 to 722. In fact, it's sitting precisely at 652. Now, I want to pull up the Gaussian bands here and see what that is telling us, because I do see an upside in relevance here, right? So, but remember, we always have to practice our discretion. We must. Okay, so this is a very important closure here on the weekly time frame. Okay, why am I saying that? Well, because the Gaussian bands are in the process of a breakout play. Okay, so we got the breakout outside of the bands, right? We came back to validate here with a weekly candle that's support or newly converted resistance into now an acting support. And this would be in 15 hours and 24 minutes tomorrow at market close, the first candle to close outside of the Gaussian bands, which would give us a very bullish outlook, and it would, yeah, that would be a very bullish statement coming out of the FNGR asset. Now, take a look at this. This has high relevance to our resistance range as well, 624 to 722, right at that top side of the Gaussian bands. That's kind of like what I'm expecting here. Not sure that we can get it as soon as tomorrow. We are going to be facing some turbulent times in the coming sessions, right? Especially tomorrow, because we do have non-farm payrolls and a jobs report tomorrow. So that's going to be likely presenting some volatility in the markets. And you know how FNGR is with coupling and decoupling from the SPY. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But to be honest, some of that downside pressure that we were looking at today, let me just restore connection here for a few things. Yeah, some of that downside pressure that we were looking at today was actually based around the pressures of the Chinese ETF CNYA. So please take a look at here, right? We actually made that CNYA pump all the way to 28.77 and now actually came back down all the way to that zone of 28.60 and ended up closing at 28.65. And that is likely why we also face some pressure to the downside here. This downward momentum is very similar to the downward momentum that we're getting from the CNYA as well. But overall, overall, everything is still looking pretty tight, and everything is still looking pretty bullish as well. Notice here on the weekly time frame, we're about to get that closure on tomorrow, right? Look at the candle structures; they're very similar. Right, so yeah, we're getting some similar reads in price action here, so it would be wise for us to consider following the CNYA price movement alongside the FNGR asset, right? Sorry, let me just click on FNGR here because everything is linked. Right, here we go. Okay, and now let's see. Yeah, we already kind of talked about that. That's all good. And here is this very impressive daily closure. Okay, so I would have really liked. I'm going to be honest here. I would have liked for the entire candle to close upside of the Gaussian band daily, right? But I mean, it's still closed outside of it. It's just I don't like it when we come back down and wick inside. Okay, but it's still a validation of support. It's still in line for us to get that confirmation before an upside continuation here. It's just the bears were really testing the bull strength here, and they were able to kind of capitalize on a short-term scalp on a daily closure. I'm sorry, on a daily low of around 484, which was 482, which was the target that we spoke of just today. That 482 target was essentially my long zone for everyone. So I said that we would likely face a 482 bottom, and that would be our long point before facing an upside. Take a look at the low of day today, right up here at the L, right? So let me hover over that candle, and please take a look right there that it came down right to our discretionary support. And we also said that that likely bottom side would be in respects to this super silly formation called a cup and handle. You guys know that I don't like formation analysis too much, but I have to just put it out there. It does get some good reviews. Now, upon this little upside that we ended up getting here, we actually printed a potential inverse head and shoulders too, right? So which is a typical formation as a breakout formation from these descending formations. My goodness. Formation. Anyway. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here. And I think that's okay. We don't want to pay attention too much to that. This is the descending broadening wedge that's looking pretty good. GTII is still in that consolidation phase that we spoke about, right? I actually see that, I mean, if you're long haul on GTII, I don't know if it matters all that much, right? But I mean, still, right? You don't want to see the downside. You don't want to face this pressure, right? But this is a clear indication of just barcoding here. This is just massive, like very confluent. There's no way that retail knows to do that, right? So again, the consolidation range for now is still consistent of this here, around 62.83 to 67.65 until we fail it and continue to the downside. But based on these iterations, on these ladders, I really do feel like we may actually have a shot at anywhere between 45 and 49 cents, which would pretty much, I'm not going to say this with a guarantee because nothing is guaranteed in the markets, right? But we have a massive downside pivot here on the 30-minute time frame, and that kind of gives the bear thesis a little strength here. So, but if the asset does reach anywhere within that, under 50-cent zone, that is historically one of the strongest demand zones that this asset has to have, specifically between 43 and 49 cents. Okay, so if it does get there, I'm even going to long the crap out of this, man. So let's just put it like that. Okay, team. Let's move on to the last part of the analysis here, which would actually be the RSI, right? So, the downside that we ended up getting today, closing at around $5 after hours and all that, that's it's very common for us to see that, especially at the macro closures, at the monthly closures and stuff like that, right? So it's just, whatever they want to do with the books is what they're going to do with the books, but that's why it closed there and that's why we got it. No big deal. Right now, it's our job to determine where our potential support can land. Which honestly, I feel like we have a good shot at testing that bottom side of 482 again. Why am I saying that? Well, 30-minute time frame is crossing beneath the SMA 14 with a downside pivot. Take a look at this here. We're rejecting from the SMA 14 on the bi-hourly time frame, entering the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, which would in essence bring us down. Right, so now looking at the 4-hour time frame using the SMA 14 as resistance with a downside pivot. And same situation here on the 6-hour time frame, resistance grab at that SMA 14, downside pivot, and here is our support. 12-hour time frame is suggesting a downside, but that downside has two supports. Which ones? We have the gravitational zone within the bear weakness percentile, right? And it also has the SMA 14 right over here. So we would essentially make that drop here to potentially face that 482 bottom once again. We don't know. We're going to check this in the morning. Remember, tune in 6:30, 6:40 a.m. Pacific time. I'll be streaming. We'll be checking out all of these tickers. Okay, so yeah, we would drop down just sub 50% from the RSI and use both of the gravitational zone and the SMA 14 as a bounce, as a bounce reason, right? Technically speaking. Right now, as we move on to the daily time frame, you can see that the daily is actually a consolidation with a slight upside pivot. Same situation here with the buy daily. In fact, we are at about a resistance from the SMA 14, but as we get closer to this gravitational zone, that would give a higher probability for us to actually succeed upside of the SMA 14, and then we will come back and validate that support and continue onwards and upwards. Now, looking at the 5-day time frame RSI, that's absolutely bullish. We're about to face that slight downside here we'll get that confirmation touch or the support for the SMA 14, and then use the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile and bounce to the upside. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a tough day tomorrow regardless because of the non-farm payrolls and jobs report and all that good stuff, team. But you already know my supports now. I am looking at a potential drop into that area of 482 just in case we do get some further downside. We still have 465 to 474, but as a relevant area, right? But it's still feasible, right? We just have to know to prepare. We have to know to protect our risk and react as we move, right? So everything is looking pretty good for FNGR, and yeah, the upper targets here maybe by I don't know. I would say Wednesday, Thursday next week we could possibly see a potential 555 grab, and we actually are supporting it. We have a massive upside pivot here on stochastics, so that it's looking okay. All right, team. So I think that's a pretty good place to leave off here. You know what? I noticed that here that I had that stupid portrait. So please let me know if you actually missed anything with that damn screen. Usually we tend to get these targets. You're able to see these targets here, but no, ARCa had to keep that damn screen the whole damn time. I feel like almost redoing the damn video, but I gotta go because it's 9:44 p.m. and the little guy has to sleep in an hour. Oh, sorry about that, team. We'll go ahead and review the chart again in the AM. Okay, I hated that happened. Oh my goodness. Anyway, team, please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I will repeat, I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Okay, team, I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I'll catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.